everybody, to the Chicago Sports Mayhem Show. Sorry, my lower third is kind of screwed up right now. I don't know what did that, but I guess I'm gonna have to find out later. But anyway, my name is Andrew, Mighty Man Scheid, your host and forever host of the Chicago Sports Mayhem Show here on the Chicago Sports Mayhem YouTube page. And I have to just say, guys, yesterday's episode was a lot of fun with Ernie. We had a lot of fun. Today it's going to be Cubs crazy. That's right. We're going Cubs crazy here tonight on Chicago Sports Mayhem because, in my opinion, guys, they have been picking it up here as of late, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But here's my big question to everybody. Are the Chicago Cubs back? That's right. Are they back? What have we seen from this team so far, or as of late, that might be telling us that, hey, it might be time to start looking at them in a positive light? Because let's be honest, ever since the White Sox series, they've kind of fallen off of a cliff. And I don't exactly know what happened to the Cubs there, that they have fallen a little bit, but they've seemed to start to pick themselves up. And what do I mean when I say that? Well, PCA has started to pick it up at the plate. Dansby Swanson, who we were berating yesterday, saying why is he still playing every day, had just an amazing showing yesterday. They have today, June 18th, 2026, off. They take on the Toronto Blue Jays tomorrow at 1:20. And, let's just talk about this last series, the Cubs against the Rockies. Second time they've seen each other in a week. And, the Cubs played really well. They won the series 2 games out of 3, which is what you want to do. And that's what I've been saying since day one, guys. That's what you want to do when it comes to baseball. You don't have to win 10 games in a row, 20 games in a row, this, that, or the other thing, what might have you. But if you win series, you should be okay. And like we've been saying since the MLB got started, that's what the White Sox have been doing, and dare I say it's been working for them. Yes, have they been humbled by the New York Yankees the past 2 days? Yes, they have been, and I just think that's a good thing. I think that shows Chicago White Sox that, yes, they can be beat, and it shows Chicago White Sox fans that your team can be beat. So the White Sox are in no way, shape, or form unbeatable. I mean, you could beat the White Sox if you try hard enough. The White Sox do have a lot of power at the plate. I think that's one thing that a lot of people are seeing this year with the Chicago White Sox. But this isn't about the Chicago White Sox today. We're talking about the Chicago Cubs, and are they back? Well, you beat the Rockies, okay? Now, you go on, or Toronto is coming into town. So I want to see what the Chicago Cubs can do against the Toronto Blue Jays. And that's not to say that they can't do good, because I wholeheartedly believe that they can do very, very well against the Blue Jays. But things are going to have to be picked up. Let's take a look, guys, at this Cub performance for the season. And I'm not just talking about as a person or as a team or whatever might have you. I'm talking as a team, what they've done so far. So let's take a look at this, guys. And this is as of today, June 18th. They have a team batting average of 241, 320 walks, 49 stolen bases, 317 RBIs, 87 homers, 12 triples, 115 doubles, 612 hits, and 344 runs. Now, that's not a horrible performance by any stretch of the imagination, right? That's not horrible. You're not bottom of the league with those numbers at all. And when you look at the just this past series that the Cubs played against the Rockies. They took game 1 5-4, game 2 5-2, and game 3 yesterday 8-6. So they were able to put together more runs yesterday than any other previous game in the series. But there are guys that are not producing to me, and I'm sorry I did not have time to put together graphics for them. Like I said at the beginning of the show, yes, PCA has picked it up at the plate. Very good to see that. Very good to see Dansby Swanson, because after I berated him yesterday, it was good to see him pick it up and have a good game at the plate. But this Cubs team is not out of the woods. They're not. They're not out of the woods. There's still a lot of things that need to be addressed. I don't think they're formidable at the plate. I think, and that's the thing. You took a series against the Colorado Rockies. I don't want to say they're a bottom feeding team in the MLB, but they're not one of the best. So if the Cubs can come back and take this series coming up starting tomorrow against the Toronto Blue Jays, I would not be worried if I were a Cubs fan, because it is still early enough that this team can climb out of it, right? They can climb out of it. They don't need, to be number one in the league, right? And I think that's the biggest thing is you don't have to be number one. You don't have to be this, that, or the other thing. You just have to play good ball, and the Cubs are starting to do that again. Here's my thing. Is it sustainable? Is this sustainable, or are you going to have another series like the White Sox series where you just get thrown off your game, and then after that you start playing like Smurf again? So hold off celebrating yet if I were a Cubs fan, just because their production at the plate, and we went through it just now. You guys were looking at that graphic. Yeah, there's just things I would like to see produce more power at the plate. I mean, that's one thing I've said on multiple shows, guys. The Cubs don't have a true power hitter in their lineup. And some people might say Alex Bregman. Well, to me, Alex Bregman isn't an established power hitter. When you're looking at, when I say power hitter, and this is what I mean someone that's a three true outcome hitter, like Munetaka Murakami for the White Sox, is when he steps to the plate, one of three things is going to happen. He is going to homer, he is going to walk, or he is going to strike out. I mean, it's that really simple. For Murakami, yeah, we've seen him scratch across some doubles, we've seen him scratch across some singles. He wants to show what he can do, but the Cubs don't have that type of guy. And no, I do not think Alex Bregman is that guy, unfortunately. Now, do I think that he can be a good hitter the second half of the season and come out of his shell? Oh, wholeheartedly, because I think we know from watching, or I know from watching Alex Bregman's career both in Boston and Houston, he notoriously has a slow first half of the season. And I've been the proponent of saying that he's in a division where you cannot afford to have a slow start to the season. Now, that being said, the Cubs are staying competitive in their division, and that's a lot to say when you look at it. The Cubs right now, after what they've been going through, people, are sitting at third in the NL Central. They're third in the NL Central, and a lot has happened to this Cubs team, and they've dealt with a lot. They've gone through a lot, and the only thing I think it's going to show us is is this Cubs team able to get through that? Is this Cubs team able to fight through those injuries, fight through this, that, and the other thing that they have to contend with? Because, we could take another look at this, guys. The Cubs' performance graphic, and we can just say, you're looking at it, a batting average of 241. I think that's just not. I would like to see it above 250. If I'm being truthfully and completely honest, I would like to see that batting average as a team at like a 251, 255. That wouldn't be too much to ask. They're developing the walks at 320. The Cubs have not really been known as base stealers, which is why you see less than 50 at 49. And the runs better than 317. These are, like I said before, these are okay numbers, but I don't think these are playoff caliber numbers, in my opinion. Now, some other people might say differently. And that's okay. Everyone is entitled to their opinion and can have their own opinion, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to say you can't have your own opinion, but these numbers for me, and I'm looking at them right along with you guys. I got it right in front of me. So these are middle of the range numbers to me. I do not think the Cubs are going to be at the top of the National League at the end of the year. Now, I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong on that front. But when you only have 115 doubles, and I think the one thing that's getting me, and I know I just got done talking about this, but it's the 87 home runs. It's 87 home runs. And we know on this show, if you're a fan of this show and have been watching for a while, you know that the Southside team already has over 90, close to 100 home runs. And we haven't even hit July yet. I think that is the biggest thing. We have not hit July yet, and the Chicago White Sox already have almost 100 home runs. I think that's the one thing, is the power hitter. I think if the Cubs can come in on the offensive, now this is what I'm talking about, guys, on the offensive side of the ball, if the Cubs can come in, find themselves a good hitter, a good established power hitter. I'm not talking Alex Bregman. I'm not talking Moises Ballesteros. I'm talking an established power hitter like Murakami, where 9 times out of 10, he's going to hit that ball a long way, whether it's an out, a homer, or not. He's going to hit the ball a long way when he makes contact. And I think that's the one thing that the Cubs lack. Yes, do you have guys that can hit for power? Oh, without a doubt, the Cubs have guys that can hit for power all day long. But they do not have an established 100% power hitter on the north side. And I think that's one thing that needs to be addressed on the offensive side. Now, when we come back, we'll be talking about the other Achilles heel for the Cubs. And what is that, you might say? Well, I guess you'll have to find out when we come back. But hopefully you guys will still be here. See you guys after this. Do your kids love fire engines and the fire service? Come on down to the Elgin Fire Bar No. 5 Museum in Elgin, Illinois, 533 St. Charles Street. If you want to get married on the back of a fire engine, come on down to the Elgin Fire Bar No. 5 Museum. Rentals of the building starting out just $100. Join the thousands of people who already view the doors. Don't wait, come now. Do your kids love fire engines and the fire service? Come on down to the Elgin Fire Bar No. 5 Museum in Elgin, Illinois, 533 St. Charles Street. If you want to get married on the back of a fire engine, come on down to the Elgin Fire Bar No. 5 Museum. Rentals of the building starting out just $100. Join the thousands of people who already view the doors. Don't wait, come now. And welcome back, everybody, to the Welcome back, everybody, to the Chicago Sports Mayhem Show. Sorry, I was muted for a sec. Need to get better at the new layout they have here in the podcast room. here at Illinois Media School. Being very nice, let me record this show for you guys here. Welcome back into the Chicago Sports Mayhem talk show here on the Chicago Sports Mayhem YouTube channel. I am your host, Andrew Mighty Man Scheid. It's just, I'm happy to be back. And before we went to break, guys, I kind of teased we were going to be talking about another issue that the Cubs have been dealing with for a while now. And that is, the Cubs pitching. Is that really the issue that we're looking at right now? Is Cubs pitching the real issue that we are looking at when it comes to why this Cubs team has been recently playing the way that they've been playing? And I'm not saying that the Cubs don't have a lot of guys on the IL, because they do. And it's just one of those things that the Cubs, and I've said this since day one, that pitching isn't everything, okay? When I say that is, everyone might say, pitching is everything. And some people are right. I think if you have a good pitching staff and you don't have a good you don't have a good team at the plate, and you have good pitching, I believe that a team can still do well. That being said, the Cubs are having issues in two places, and we talked about in the first segment that first issue at the plate there, that some players are just not really producing. They're not really producing at the plate like a playoff team should produce. But the other thing that's been going on for the Cubs is a lot of pitching injuries have been going down, and we're going to look at a graphic later in this segment to see kind of where, as a team, where their pitching is at. But to me, and this is the segment I'm going to say where pitching isn't everything, and we're going to look at here, and I apologize again that I did not put together a graphic for this. Busy day for me. But we're going to look at it. Starting pitchers on the IL right now, you got Jamison Tyone, Justin Steele, Matthew Boyd, Caleb Horton, Edward Cabrera. These are all starters on the IL. Okay, so this could really be an issue, and I'm going to read just what ESPN has said about Tyone here. Is put on a 15-day injured list with a moderate left hamstring strain. He's expected to be sidelined until after the All-Star break. So, and that is courtesy of ESPN. So that's a really key arm down for the Cubs if you're looking at it. Losing Caleb Horton, Edward Cabrera is another one, and that's just the starters. Let's continue to go down this list and look at the relief pitchers that are on the IL for the Cubs. And that is Daniel Palencia is put on a 15-day injured list on June 16th, so only a couple days ago, guys. With the right elbow inflammation, his timeline is currently to be determined. So when the club doesn't even know when you're going to be coming back, I don't like seeing that. Hunter Harvey, Riley Martin, and Jack Neely are all also on the IL for relief pitchers. So the Cubs in the pitching, I think I'm at the point now where I can really say that might be a big issue. This Cubs team has tried to find ways to fight back in games. You won the series against Colorado. Good. Now let me see you come home, or let me see you let me see you at home against the Toronto Blue Jays, and let's see if you can win that series. But my big thing with their pitching, and let's take a look at this pitching graphic here together. My big thing is it the issue? And I think that's the biggest thing is pitching the issue. And when we look at this, and this is their pitching numbers as of today, they have a team ERA of 4.44. Starting pitchers have an ERA of 4.71, and total strikeouts at 569. So, I mean, that is a horrible. In my opinion, if we're going to be like that's a horrible team ERA, in my opinion. I don't like that. I think any team ERA above 4 is just not good. Not good at all. Not good whatsoever. I don't even know what to say to that. And when I was putting this graphic together, I looked at that number. It was just astonishing. And people want to say that the White Sox don't have as good as pitching as the Cubs, but I think the Cubs right now, because their pitching is just so beat up, and yeah, I say it beat up because it is so beat up that I don't know what they have left in the tank. I mean, that's the easiest way to answer that question. What do the Cubs have left to put out on that mound? I mean, I think that's the biggest question. Yeah, you can go, and I think this is what I said early on. I said, okay, your pitching's down, so go into your minor league system, bring guys up. That's what they are there for. They are there to develop and be ready to become that minor league player when you need them and when they are ready. But that's what these guys are in the minors for, because they're trying to work their way up. Anyway, I digress. I said that early on, but I'm at the point today where I am saying that this wholeheartedly could be one of their issues. I will say, though, to me, it is not the only issue. I think other things need to be addressed for the Cubs. Now, they had a good series against the Rockies. Like I said, come home against the Blue Jays, see what you guys can put together. I mean, it's as simple as that. We're still early in the season. Yes, the All-Star break and trade deadline are quickly approaching, but they're still only over a month away. August 3rd is the trade deadline. So when you think about it, when we hit July 3rd, that's your month away from the trade deadline. So when you stop to think about it, the Cubs have a lot of time. I don't want to say to crawl out of the cellar, because they're not in a cellar. They're still over 500. And I want to say, by the grace of God, they're over 500. But when you look at the Chicago Cubs and their record as it sits right now, they are not, they're 39 and 36. So they, now stuff has switched over that they are now have the most wins of any Chicago team by 1. Now that could change really quick, but I mean, they're still 39 and 36, still above 500. I think the one thing that is scaring some Cubs fans is the division that the Cubs are sitting in is so competitive. And it is. The NL Central, in my opinion, is one of the most competitive divisions in the MLB when you have teams like Milwaukee, St. Louis, Chicago Cubs, the Pittsburgh Pirates, Cincinnati Reds. I mean, these are all teams that know how to play the game and are good at what they do. Milwaukee has owned this NL Central division for the past 3 years, and yes, I say owned, but can the Cubs be one of those teams to take it away from Milwaukee? We will have to wait and see, won't we? We will have to wait and see. But, yeah, I think pitching is a problem. I think, now here's what I'll say. If the Cubs do not start to pick it up soon, I think they will be sellers at the deadline. And that's not me being rude, but I think the Cubs have got so many pieces in their organization that they can use that I think they could be sellers at the deadline if they don't start to pick things up, right? You don't start moving forward. You don't start doing this and that or the other thing. I think that, you could see certain players on a trade block, um, possibly even prior to August 3rd. Um, and I'm just saying one name I've heard floating around out there from different people, and I don't know how true this is, so please do not quote me on this. But certain players that could be moved. I'm not saying they will be moved, but could be moved are players like Seiya Suzuki. That is someone you could get prime money for or a prime trade for, minor league wise, to help build you guys back, their club back up. Because I also think that this Cubs team, just some of these pieces they spent money on, minor league wise, are not doing what they expected. I think they expected Moises Ballesteros to be more of a power hitter or a true power hitter. I have not seen that yet from Ballesteros. Now, I'm not saying we won't see that from Ballesteros. It's just something that I have not seen from him yet. But bringing that lower reserve, I mean, the Cubs to me, they're kind of back, but not back 100%. You won one series, and like I've been repeating over again, if they can win this series against Toronto, my opinions of the Chicago Cubs will change. But I think that's just the big thing is just key things need to get addressed and answered, and I think that's the biggest thing out of all this is address the problems that need to be addressed. We talked about Dansby yesterday. For me, one good day does not change my opinion of you, Dansby. Do start picking it up for a whole series or two series back to back, then my opinion of you will change. But the Cubs spent all that money on you, so in my opinion, you better show the Cubs why they spent all that money on you. Wouldn't you say? You know, that's just me. I mean, he's still batting below the Mendoza line, people. I mean, so, I mean, that's one of the things that needs to be addressed. Now, I'm not saying sit Dansby, especially after having the game he just had. He could possibly feed off that and create more momentum on that. So I'm not saying sit Dansby, but certain things just need to be addressed on this Cubs team, and until they get addressed, I don't think this Cubs team is ready to compete at a playoff caliber level, in my opinion. Now, some people might strongly disagree with me, and that's okay. You can leave your comments all day long on this video. I don't care on this episode. Everyone's going to have their own opinions, and I have mine. So I'm not trying to tell you how to think. I'm not trying to get you to think my way. These are just my opinions, guys, here on the Chicago Sports Mayhem talk show. And, since baseball is the only Chicago sport going right now, all these episodes I'm going to try to make them a little more fun as we go forward, which is why I made today kind of just Cubs-centric, right? But, yeah, I think this Cubs team, they can still compete. Right now, in my opinion, they are not competing at that playoff level. Now, I'm not saying they can't. They can still, like I said, I don't want to say they're in a cellar because they're not. But just stay competitive in a division like the NL Central. There's some things the Cubs need to address and need to address quickly. I would say before the trade deadline, if you can. And just hopefully that pitching gets off the IL in a timely manner. And then they stay healthy the whole second half of the season. I mean, that's all you can ask for the Chicago Cubs is just play better, play like you did against the Rockies, and just don't stop fighting. And I think that's just what Cubs fans want to see is they want to see this Cubs team just not give up. Don't stop fighting until that last out. And I think that is the biggest theme for Cubs fans. But I want to thank everyone for joining me for this episode of Chicago Sports Mayhem. And, I originally said, guys, we're doing one a week and all this and that. But if I could get you guys more episodes a week, why wouldn't I do that? And if you have not done so already, if you've made it this far in the video and you are not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel for more episodes coming out. Like this video, share it to your friends. If they like Chicago sports, they're going to love that show. We're going to get more guests. We're going to get more highlights and graphics going forward. I mean, we're going to have a lot of fun with this. Going forward, like I said yesterday, it is World Cup time. We're going to be following the Dutch national team through their World Cup journey. Being that I am a second-generation Dutch American, I do have a lot of that pride for the Netherlands, and everything that that country stands for. So that'll be taking place throughout this next month. My mighty piece of wisdom of tonight is just do not let people tell you how to live your life. And I think I did that for part of my life because I wanted to be liked by so many people. And that's another part of this. You don't have to get everyone's approval. If you're enjoying this, like the show, I'm enjoying it. Am I getting thousands of views a night? No. But I'm enjoying sitting here talking to you guys. I'm enjoying imparting what I know onto you guys. And I'm no baseball expert. I don't claim to be. There are things I don't even know. So, but don't let people dictate your life. Don't let people run your life. And if they are, get them out of your life as soon as possible. But that's my mighty piece of wisdom of the night. I want to thank everyone for joining me here on Chicago Sports Mayhem. We will see you guys next week for episode 19. Have a great night, everybody.